Hey guys, True Grit Scott Bulletproof Saws. Got a couple cool packages in the mail this week. I got a Husky 395 clone from Jess Ray over at Smelter City and BlueSaws.com that I'm kind of excited to get into. I also got a shipment in from Mike Ralph, the Neotec guy. His website's neotecus.com, like neotecus.com. I don't know why it isn't Neotec USA, but whatever, it's neotecus.com. And Mike sent me a couple of things. Now, I'm a little bit late on the game with the Neotec bars here. It's a 25-inch 0.63 bar. And I might have missed the boat on this, and I don't know what I was thinking, because I get a lot of stuff in to try out. And for some reason, I didn't jump on the bars. Maybe because I'm sitting on a bunch of different bars. I don't know. But my buddy Greg Chappie Myers, and you might know him from some of the Farmer Tech Facebook groups, the Neotech Facebook groups, chainsaw milling. He posts a bunch, helps people out, does different things. He does some awesome stuff between chainsaw milling and his woodworking. That's pretty incredible. But in any case, he said, hey, did you grab a Neotec bar yet? And I'm like, no, not yet. Didn't have the opportunity. He said, you better grab one. Well, what do you mean? He says, they're pretty friggin' nice. And you know what? He was dead right. So what I did as soon as this came in the mail, I'm ripping the box open like a little kid on Christmas. And I actually have another video of me ripping the boxes open, but I have to go through it to make sure that like my butt's not pointed to you guys the whole time and you can see me or hear me talking, because there's a good chance I just cut off my head on that. But anyhow, ran inside and got the Farmer Tech bar to compare it to, and I'll zoom you guys in to show you. But if you don't feel like listening to me talk too much, here's the bottom line. The metal's about a third thicker. I can't attest to durability yet with years of using it, but it looks like a really nicely made bar. It has the Oregon tips on it instead of the, I forget if these are Sugi's or Sumura's tips, but they're replaceable tips, because I see a lot of people ask that question. I've answered it a bunch on the forums, that it's either Sumura or Sugi, and I can't remember which tip it is. But this has the Oregon tip, which it's a lot more common and easier to find. Not that any of them are that hard to find, but it's nice to see something that you have 100 of already. But the big win with this is the thickness of the metal. It's noticeably thicker and heavier bars. So we'll see if they're a little bit more durable, because that's really my one thing with the Farmer Tech bars. They're a little bit light. They're lighter in the metal, and it's noticeable. I really think steel makes some of the best average chainsaw bars. You know, if you look at Forster, Oregon, who else? Steel. I guess those are the three that I'd really look at. I think steel makes the best bars. But I was always telling people this is 70% of a steel bar. It's not as heavy. It's not quite as nice, but they'll get you by. And a lot of guys like these for their ground crews, because if the saw gets ran over, destroyed, bent up, you're not out of a lot of money. It's a cheap bar. It's a cheap bar. The Neotec one, this seems like a nice bar. This is a step up. You know, maybe it's going to be horrible metal, but I kind of doubt that. It seems like Neotec's doing some good things, and what gives me even better thing is these new ProFlow filters. It's like a Max Flow clone. I'm going to talk about them in a second. So we'll see how these Neotec bars do, but I'll zoom in and show you. But the metal's definitely a third thicker. They're nice bars. The other thing, which I already kind of let a cat out of the bag on, is these ProFlow filter covers. I got black and orange, and I actually got a couple extra of the twisty thing. What would you call that? Nut bolt? I don't know what the hell you even call that. The thing you turn to screw it on the back of the saw. How do I not know the name for that? It's not a grommet. It's a... I don't know. I'm not going to make a video for 10 minutes trying to figure out what the hell you call that thing. But anyhow, I have a couple of extra ones were sent, whereas the Max Flow never comes with it. And it's always pissed me off that that doesn't come with that part, and you have to rip it out of your existing saw. In any case, in a nutshell, The Neotec ProFlow filters covers, this is the best plastic I've seen on a saw, including OEM plastic. This plastic is thick, durable, has a great feel to it. This is really nice stuff here. So I'm going to pause you, zoom you in so we get a closer look at everything and talk about it a little bit more. Okay, fellas, real quick. The plastic is the same on either the black ProFlow or the orange ProFlow, so I'm going to get this out of my way. I don't have a lot of room to work with. So we'll throw that over there. Now, what I'm going to tell you is the ProFlow actually did something that I like. I've always wondered why the Max Flows for this back piece, however you want to do it, why they didn't have holes in it here and here. Like it never made sense to me not to have that extra with it. And the same thing, the Max Flow never had that, and I don't know why. And I kind of like that extra breathability on the filter. Not that I'd say that they were starving for air. It just seemed like a good idea. So I'm not sure about that, and we're going to see in long-term use if maybe it sucks the foam in too much or anything like that. So that's a question that I have. You know, one of the good things that I have, the advantage I have over a lot of guys, is I'm not a shill for Farmertech and I'm not a shill for Neotec. I'm an independent guy, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about the product. Whereas you might not realize it, but you see a lot of guys cheerleading for different brands out there. I'm not going to point fingers at this point, but a lot of them are shills. You give them a saw, you send them a bar, and they're going to say whatever you want. I can deal with whoever I want. I deal with the vendors that I want. I deal with the companies that I want. I buy the product that I want, and that's all there is to it. So I'll say what I want, and I'll give you guys my honest opinion. Anyhow, Max Flows, the plastic on the Max Flow has always frustrated me. I've never had them break, so that's not the problem. The orange has always been a little bit off in color, was one thing that I've had folks complain about. I don't overly care, but people have mentioned it to me when they get a saw. Hey, how come that's different? And the other thing that's always frustrated me about the Max Flow is that you can't dye it. So if you wanted to make this black, you couldn't. And they don't have black in a lot of the models, or last I looked, they didn't. The ProFlow, I don't know if you could dye it, but the big thing is I could get it in black right off the bat. And this plastic, I'm going to show you, is, and I'm hoping you could see it, and I'm hoping the light allows it, it's a good amount thicker, and it feels like, this feels like high quality plastic. Like, I'm shocked. I'd like to see every plastic piece that Neotec makes should be this plastic. This is incredible. Now, the only thing, the Max Flows, again, I've never had them break, but it's a lot thinner, rubbery, or whatever. Now, I haven't dropped a tree on this. I haven't ran it over with my truck yet, so I can't say how durable it is, but it feels absolutely durable. Like, this is noticeably thicker, nice, heavier, dense plastic. Anyhow, I won't go on about that. The one thing that I will say in the comparison is I think that the Max Flow foam has a little bit more density and a little more thickness to it. And I don't know how, there's no way I could show you that on video, I don't think. But it's just a denser filter foam. This one feels better to me, so I'm going to give that to the Max Flow. But overall, for the cost, this ProFlow is absolutely incredible. I don't know what else to say about a intake and air filter system, but I do like these on the ported saws. I think it makes a big difference, and when customers buy this, I think it adds to longevity of a saw, having it breathe better. And I just think it's a better system, especially on the 66s, where I don't love those air filters. I've never loved them on 66s, 44s, and a lot of these filters. I don't know if this is a steel HD2 or what, whatever it is. I don't like that. I never loved these, although they're not horrible, but I don't know. I haven't loved them. That's a Farmertech one. That's, I don't know, that might be an aftermarket one. I'm not sure. It came out of somebody's saw. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to pause you. I'm going to look at these bars real quick with you. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to start off with the bar right on the scale. Neotec bar is 3 pounds, 4 ounces. I hope you guys could see it. The Farmer Tech bar is 2 pounds, 14.5 ounces. So 2 pounds, 14.5. 3 pounds, just about 4 ounces. So 4 ounces and 2 ounces, 6 ounces. So not quite half a pound heavier. It's less than half a pound heavier. But what I really wanted to show you guys, and we'll get this out of the way. I'll tell you what, I ship a lot of saws all over the place, and this little scale from, I think I got it off of Amazon, has been a godsend with shipping for me. So here's the big thing that I really wanted to show you. I got the Farmer Tech saw over here and the Neotec saw over here. And I'm going to try to push some buttons and hold these straight so it's focusing maybe. I don't know if you could see it, but the Neotec bar is without a doubt significantly heavier metal. The fit and finish is real nice. One of the things that bar manufacturers are doing, and I can't stand, this Neotec has it and the Farmer Tech has it, is they use this laser etching, which I can't even see looking through the viewfinder on this cell phone here that I'm videoing with. I could see the Farmer Tech one, but I know that laser etching, it wipes off quicker than I want it to on any of them. And I really prefer a bar manufacturer to stamp that information in. 25-inch, 3/8, .050, 84 drive links. You know, I don't care about their serial number so much. I can figure out what bar it is. And I guess, you know, I have a little thing I could stick in the bar groove and tell me the information that I need. But it's kind of nice when that stamp stays on there, because I have some saws that are so old that there's not a stitch of paint on the bar or anything. In the stamped ones, it's never a problem. Hey, it's 72 drive links, it's 84 drive, whatever it is, it's kind of nice. I'm going to pause you and talk to you for another minute and then call this a quick video. Okay, guys. Well, that's my new Neotec gear this week, and I really have to thank Mike Ralph over there at neotecus.com for sending it out to me. He's been a great vendor. Any problem that I've had has been fixed immediately, and he's been a good guy to do business with. So I could do business with anybody, and I do use other vendors also. Like I said, for Farmer Tech, I use Jess Ray. And for Farmer Tech, I've also used Mike Brasilero over at Peachtree Woodworking, and they've all been great vendors. The thing that I like about, I get this question a lot, so I'll address it real quick. Why am I using the USA vendors instead of going to Farmer Tech Direct? And I do go to Farmer Tech Direct occasionally. I do that more for small parts when I'm buying in bulk. If I'm buying a couple $1,000s of plastics, nuts, bolts, little things, I'll go to Farmer Tech Direct. But lately I've been just buying saws from the USA vendors, not even Farmer Tech, and here's why. When I buy from a USA vendor, number one, if there's a problem with a model that they're aware of, like Mike over at Peachtree said, hey, I shipped you extra gaskets and an extra throttle rod because a lot of the 460 kits weren't coming with the right gaskets and they weren't coming with the right throttle rods. It was already in there. I don't have to fight with Farmer Tech, or if I needed the unit right away, I'm not waiting a couple days to, you know, get it from somebody, wherever I'm getting it from, if I didn't have it in stock. The other thing is sometimes those guys know, so hey, the oilers are bad on these. Hey, check your whatever it is. Hey, this part has been failing for a lot of people, double check. And it's nice to hear that on the front end. And a lot of times I'll go, like I've gone back to Hyway with parts that they're having a problem with that they don't know it. Speaking of, hopefully I don't forget, I want to talk about some Hyway clutches that I just ran into a problem with, and I think this might help some folks out. But anyhow, going to the USA dealers, yeah, I pay a little bit more, but I get what I need, and if there's a problem, I've never not had the part shipped to me the very next day it's in the mail, and I'm not arguing with a overseas vendor for weeks and weeks getting stupid answers or offering me $2 refunds or whatever it is. So to me, I'm already saving enough money on the saws that I can go with the USA vendor and pay for that service. Moving on, I'm going to touch base on this real quick. I had a clutch fail on a 460 build this week. Not entirely sure why. It looked potentially like the bearing went, but I think there's more to this story. I went to replace it with a Hyway clutch, and I hit it. I take it off with the impact, and I put it on with the impact, and I'm not ooga-dooging it. I'm just spinning it on not so tight, and a lot of times with a clutch, I'll hit the brake and hit the throttle and tighten them up. So I don't go crazy on tightening clutches. I don't know if it was the vibration of the impact, and I'm not talking my heavy car impact. I'm talking just a little handheld Milwaukee impact driver. So I'm not talking any big guns, and I think I have it set on 1. So it's not a lot of impact, because again, you guys know you will shear the crank, the threads off a crank if you do too much. And if you're aware of that, you know you're not going to hit it real hard with the ooga dooga. Anyhow, what happened with these clutches is that there's little nibs of metal in between the shoes, and they snapped off. I hit it with the ooga dooga. I see something fly in the air. Don't know what it is, and I look over on the table, see a little tiny piece of metal, and maybe I can show it to you. I'm going to put it right on the Hyway box, and I'm going to try to get it on the camera real quick for you guys just to show you what I'm talking about. And I've seen these nibs break off a bunch of times before. Let's see if we could do this here. You can see my... Oh no, I lost it. Here it is. Oh. I had multiples of that little nib that sits in between the shoes break off on 2 different Hyway clutches. One of them lost 2 of them, and one of them lost 1 of them. So what I'm thinking, and I don't know this, and I've had this happen with Farmer Tech clutches and Hyway clutches. So I've seen it happen on both of them now. And now it's happened to me enough times that I wonder if some of the castings are just, I mean, the clutches look wonderful. I see nothing wrong with the casting. It's clean. But those little nibs breaking off, I'm wondering if that's happening when guys are running saws with, I've seen a lot of clutch failures online and people talking about them. And in the last over 3 years, it's not 4 years, but maybe we're getting there now. So out of all these saws, I've had, I'm going to say 4 clutches fail at this point. I can't go, 1 or 2 of them I know was me not greasing a bearing ever, and milling and being a dumbass actually, and not doing the maintenance I should, because you know I have saws parts and everything, and why would you maintain your own saw, especially chainsaw milling? Anyhow, I think these nibs are breaking off, getting caught up in there, and making these clutches explode. I don't think it's a common thing. I'm not saying there's a rash of this like an epidemic, but here and there, I see bearings fail when guys don't take care of them for a long period of time. And then I think it's these nibs, you know, rattling loose over time. Clutches flying out, flying in, flying out, flying in. And I think those nibs are breaking off and getting gummed up in there and doing something goofy. Just something to be aware of, guys. And if you're putting them on with the ooga dooga, and you can say, hey, don't put them on with the ooga dooga, and I understand you saying that, but I use power drivers and all that stuff, and I've used it for 200 saws now, so it's not the issue if you do it carefully. But take a look and make sure you're doing it somewhere where you can see a little tiny piece of metal fly out, because that may be impending doom, and maybe where that's breaking off from doesn't matter. I'd hate to say that, and I should zoom in to show you guys this. Let's see. I have a hard time finding it on here when they break off. It takes me a second. Right there it is. All right, let's see. Maybe I could show you that too. Hold on. Yeah. Let's try to do this. I guess I should have been a little more prepared for this, huh? And you probably really need more light to see it. Okay, I'll show you it this way. You see there? That piece of metal right here. Let me grab a pointer. Lucky I have an Allen key right next to me. You see this right here? You see this right here? You don't see it over here. That's where it broke off from. If this is focusing good enough, and God, I hope it is. Let me hit the focus again. This is where it's breaking off from. And then if that happens there, and it happens on the other side, that clutch can, you know, go wonky on you. Anyhow, guys, just a little more information. I'll wrap this video up. Anyhow, just a little side note. Probably should have made a whole separate video on it because I have a couple other separate videos that I wanted to make, but it's hard for me to find the time to do as many things as I want. So bear with me when I throw a whole bunch of information at you in one video. It's just the way I have to do it to be able to find the time to do this. And Lord knows I'm never going to find the time to edit videos as much as I really want to. My middle boy, Connor, is in from college. And he's actually done some video editing, so I'm real tempted to see if I could get him to edit some videos just so I could make them a little bit better. Anyhow, pipe dreaming there. Anyhow, guys, that's my video for today. Some cool Neotec stuff. True Grit Scott, Bulletproof Saws. Thanks for watching and stay safe, guys.